show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
That he will not step in if his baby mother is being physically abused by her new boyfriend because it's not his responsibility. She's no longer under my protection. I take issue with the fact that we are on podcasts and on social media having conversations about how we would treat our hypothetical baby mom.
If we were going to say you can no longer say, what do you bring to the table? What's the better question?
What do you value?
Good health is important, and luckily I am blessed.
Have you ever lost someone you really love?
Yeah, my husband. We were together 43 years, married 38. We had a great life, but it ended.
How did that impact you?
I was sad, but life goes on, and you have to make the best of it.
A lot of people aren't able to move on, though. How were you able to move on from that?
I guess just inner strength, not wanting to be a victim. It's not what happens to you, it's how you handle what happens to you.
What is something you really wanted to say to him that you never got a chance to say?
Why we not talk? Well, let's talk about it. We live. We live. Yeah.
That's the show, Dennis!
The last 7 days have been totally insane, but we made it. Now buckle up and get ready for the most organic conversation on the internet with your hosts, the Force, the King, the Kamikaze, the Great and Terrible. Up to it, down to it. Pour a glass and talk some trash. Welcome to the show, and thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a good time tonight right along with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Let's go up to it.
Yes, sir.
We back for another one.
What's happening?
It's gonna get wild out here today. Today's gonna be a wild one. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. We got the 2 live crew in the building. 2 for me, 2 for you.
2 for you.
You know what time it is. You know what we do out here, man. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Assuming nothing's changed since last week, we can still call you that.
Uh-oh.
We got more to bring to y'all. Welcome to the most organic conversation on the internet. Welcome to Up to It, Down to It with your boys, your Friday Night Delights back in the building. One more time, we're getting ready to have some fun, man. It's a perfect night to pour a glass and talk some trash with us. So thank y'all for joining us. You are awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause for y'all being here locked in with us in the beginning. We appreciate y'all. That being said, you see we got 2. I think we'll be adding more as we go. We're going to see how that all works out. People are occupied. Why I can't talk? People are occupied, right?
We're
but
busy.
they'll be jumping back on with us. They busy.
Grown.
There we go. See, I'm sitting up here trying to use damn big words. Occupied. I should just said niggas is busy.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. You know
Life is short. Time is short. Let's get to the point.
Straight like that. Let's get to it. That being said, let's talk to him, man. My man's right there. My LB, the inspirational King Rich, man. Talk to us, bro. How you been? What's going on? What's on your mind?
Everybody, LB, what's going on, man? I'm just, happy to be here. Happy to be on the podcast tonight. Happy that, you guys are joining us. So, thank y'all for joining us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So I'm going to keep it short tonight. Let me first tell you what I'm sipping on. As you can see, I have 3 bottles here, so it's going to depend on how I'm feeling. Right now, I'm sipping on this Los Cabos Los Cabos Silva, right? That's the kid. And I'm got some OJ to go with that, right? But when I'm feeling froggy, this Don Julio is gonna go into these shot glasses and it's gonna go down, right? Now, if we get into some, let me not say it yet. If we get into some G and T, I say that without us going. All right, right? Then I might have to crack this bad boy open. That's 19 Crimes, the red blend. I haven't had it yet, and so we might get into some G and T, and then I'm gonna crack that open. Got my wine glass here. But as far as inspiration goes, man, last week I know I was saying, sometimes you ain't always gonna be feeling inspirational. Sometimes you're gonna be in a just in a negative. And I said, just be in that. This week for me has been about one word. It's been resolve. And that word resolve didn't. It came to me Thursday because all this week I've been really just thinking about uh, getting stuff done, solving problems. Whatever it has that I've been procrastinating on, figuring out discernment versus procrastination, not discernment as in, but the time that it takes to make a decision versus procrastination and all of that. And I was just thinking about, all right, let's get to this resolve. Let's get to a resolve. And then that also made me think about resolutions, how people be making, New Year's resolutions or whatnot. But the word resolve stuck out to me because if you go to the meaning of it, right, settle or find a solution to, right, to a problem, to a dispute, to some matter, right, to right, it's let's get to the action of it. Let's get to the let's put it into action so that we can solve these things, right? So that's all I got, man. We're gonna get into it, baby. So strap in, cause here we go. Toast to you.
Toast to you. I got the mug in the building. You never know what's in the mug. It could be a little bit of anything. Could be a little bit of everything. Could be water.
We should do
It's
a guess
just
what's in
water.
the mug type of thing. That'd be dope. Guess
Maybe we
what's
should
in the
maybe we should
mug.
we should get some up to it down to it mugs, man. What you think? Y'all let,
Yeah,
y'all let
yeah,
us know what y'all think in the comments, man, about some
absolutely.
up to it down to it mugs.
Mug, shot glasses.
Yeah, yeah,
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Have some fun with it, man. Hey, and big shout out. We need to come up with another design. I got another idea. I'll talk about this one off air. But yeah, big shout out to my gardeners, my fellow gardeners out there, with the greenery in the air. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the greenery in the air. Those of y'all who do that, man. Whatever you do, it's all good. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Excuse me. Have a good
Uh-oh. Did we lose you? There we go. We live, baby. We live. Well, we gonna have a good time tonight. We got a couple things to get into. So uh-oh, he's back. Wait a
Yep.
minute.
Okay. So
There
it,
we
it
go.
did it did randomly cut off. I don't know what happened. Yeah, big shout out to the up to it, down to it mugs. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, man, from a long distance, our boy Q, man. What's up, brother? Good to
Shout
see you,
out.
man.
Shout out.
Shout out to Q in the building, man.
Man,
Y'all keep Q in
working.
y'all prayers, man. This dude, they working him like a Hebrew slave for real. You know, like the Israelites got carried off to Babylon. You know what I'm saying? They working that man.
Woo.
But yeah, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the comments. All right, man. Look, let's get into it. We'll catch everybody up as we go. Um, we always have our ever-present mission to make families great again, right? Make NF great again. All right. By NF, I'm talking about the nuclear family. Make the nuclear family great again. Right? That's what we always talking about, man. And so with that being said, I think sometimes you got to start from the beginning. And a lot of people who talk about their family and marriage and so on and so forth, they get jammed up in the very beginning when we're talking about what do you bring to the table. Now, ladies, I know I already hear you. I already hear you. I already hear them, man. You already hear the feminine fury coming at us.
I got a question though. Like, is
Yeah.
it just women that get offended when they hear what do you bring to the table? I don't know. I just y'all sound off in the comments. I just be wondering sometimes, like, just a question I'm throwing out there because sometimes it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
No. You're right, man. And I'll say my opinion kind of very quickly without digging into too much detail yet. But my opinion is the only people that get offended by the question are people who bring nothing to the table. Because I just, I just feel like if you bring value to the table, you don't have no problem speaking up on it. And I feel like if you get offended by the question, it's because you know the answer is nothing.
These days the sensitivity level is super high. The tension levels are super high. And I think, people are quick to hang somebody rather than listen to understand, and then ask questions
Yeah,
back.
fact.
Ask questions back to understand. Um, because if you jump to a defensive mode, then you're already not trying to understand. You've made up your mind of what you think what the person said. But if you say, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying this, and then maybe the person can elaborate or expound upon what they were trying to say. This we're so sensitive right now and so high, you know, strung and intense, you know.
About literally everything. About literally everything, man. Everything is so
Literally
important. Everything triggers us.
everything. You can't even sit there and say, what do you bring to the table? And again, words mean things. So let's get into this bit. Let's get into it
Yeah,
because
yeah. Because
hey,
this can
hey,
already go.
yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. This is actually a viewer submission, and it kind of paints the "what do you bring to the table" question in a slightly different light. So let's check it out.
If we were gonna say you can no longer say what do you bring to the table, what's the better question?
What do you value?
Do you know how quickly you would get to a resolution when you ask that instead? Okay, y'all, that's the question. What do you value?
Because what do you bring to the table is essentially me asking you, why should I be sitting here with you?
Right.
When in reality,
I'm already irritated.
right? Yeah, I mean that's not going to get us anywhere. When in reality, what I want to know is, are we aligned in our values? Is family important to you, or is your career important to you? Not that there's anything wrong with either, but I just need to know: is spirituality important to you or not? Those are values, right? Is quality time important to you? Is integrity and honesty important to you? I'm not going to get that if I just ask you what you bring to the table, because then you're just going to list a bunch of material things that says nothing about who you are as a person.
Well. What's your thoughts, man?
My first thoughts are that people receive things differently. So I think by switching up that question, you're just appeasing the receiver. Because
Okay.
just because you ask what do you bring to the table doesn't mean a person is not going to give you their values. So it really is depending on the receiver, right? If somebody asks me, what do you bring to the table? I'm not listing material things, so that negates what he was saying. But I'm just saying, like, it's like I hear what he's saying. All he did was change up how it was presented so that it appeased the receiving end, the person on the receiving end. And to be honest, sometimes you got to do that, right? You got to season your speech with salt. I'm totally for that. So I'm not like knocking that at all. And if you are trying to get to that specific question, that is the question to ask. Or if you're trying to get to those specific answers, I should say, then that is the question to ask. Like, don't even ask what he brings to the table, because that whole bring to the table thing is like what do you call it? It's a fad, right? Somebody said it, social media got a hold of it, and it's like, what do you bring to the table? Or even guys are saying, well, what do you bring to the table? And it's social media gets a hold of it, catches like wildfire, and it's not even what somebody is really asking. More so, they heard it. It sounds like a great phrase to say, and you know, if that's not really what you want to know, don't ask that question. Won't you ask the questions that you really want to know? What is your relationship like with your dad, your mom? How was your mom and dad's relationship? You know, uh, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like what do you bring to the table is definitely, in my opinion, right, a still a surface level kind of question. It's broad. It's in my opinion surface level if you're the person that's trying to find out something deeper. If you try to find out values, ask about values. Or you ask those things, like I was just saying, to figure out, okay, what shaped this person. Well, your relationship with your mom, dad, uncles, siblings. What was your church like growing up? Oh, you didn't go to church. Okay, no, bro. Okay, what was your community? And you're asking these questions to find out those things, about them, about their character, things of that nature, about their value and what they value. So instead of asking what do you value, you can ask, questions that will tell you what they value. What's your thoughts on, right? And so you ask those open-ended questions. So I'm not saying that, I like I said, I I can agree with what he said. What do you value? I think, I don't know if that's a better or not question than what do you bring to the table. I just think that that's a type of question that uh, uh, appeases the listener and garners a different result because it gets to the values instead of what do you bring to the table, which could be anything. It could be material. It could be whatever that person interprets.
Yeah, yeah, quite literally. Um, well said, actually, and I think that was a great point that you made. That really, if anything, it appeases the person that you're asking the question to. My thoughts on what do you bring to the table have always been that it's not a question that you actually ask a person; it's a question you ask yourself about that person, right? Like, so I think, and fellas, if any of y'all are out here doing this, stop this stupid shit, okay? I don't think you go out on a date with somebody and you try to, meet them, meet with them, get to know them or whatever, and you just out the blue. So what do you bring to the table? I think that's a silly question. I mean, maybe if you're speed dating or some shit like that, but in general, and I think that's the only place really that it's appropriate to just say that,
Begin with
just ask that question. Is if you
to begin with, is this?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like why we even that's not even a question under normal circumstances I'm even gonna ask. So I think it's a silly question to ask that person. However, I do think it's a question that you should ask yourself about that person. So I get to know this woman. I take her on a date. We go to Starbucks or or Ruth Chris, anywhere in between, right? And based on our interaction, our conversation, how she acted and so on and so forth, I can decipher what types of elements she brings to the table that I'm looking for, right? I don't think it's a question you have to ask her on a date. Now, by the same token, if let's say the woman is on a podcast and she asks why she's single, she's trying to figure out why she's single, and the man on the podcast says, "What do you bring to the table?" and the woman gets offended, then I think, or whoever it is, that person gets offended. I think it's because that person knows that the answer is nothing, right? So I think that's a different setting. But on a date, you shouldn't be asking that question one way nor the other. I think, in my opinion, right? So that being said, I think I agree with you that it's another way to just kind of ask the question and appease the listener. And sometimes that's what you have to do. I also don't know that, asking a woman, what do you value, is the best way to find out what she values either. Because, in the same way, asking them what they bring to the table and they say, sex, sandwiches, and silence, that means they've been watching this show, which is dope. Which they probably got it together, right? But the thing is, that but you can rehearse that answer, right? She can tell you that she brings sex, sandwiches, and silence to the equation, to the table, but she be lying. You say that, but you lie. July the 12th. Shout out to my man's hood, right? But yeah, so I'm not I don't know, man. My gut feeling is you can still ask that question, but again, I think it's a question that you ask yourself about the person you're dealing with, and not so much a question that you ask that person.
Yeah, and I like what you said about it's not like a question you ask on like a date when you're getting to know, you know, a person, because you can get to know that through other things, other means, like, even when you're trying to figure out, what the person likes, like, do y'all like, you know, going to, what do they call them things where they little reading book sessions or something, or do y'all like going out and going to the Nerf arena, as you see all of them? Yeah, yeah. Uh, shout out to my son who's gonna have his birthday in August, and it's gonna be a Nerf war. Okay, I'm letting you know now. It's gonna be a Nerf war. Okay, so it's going down. So yeah, let's go. So I think that you are right in that, that's more of like a podcast setting or interview setting, like somebody's trying to figure out, and it's something that you really want to ask yourself, and that person on the other end is just asking that question, like, hey, well, what do you, if all of these things are true, or is what it is, then what do you bring to the table, or what is it about you? What do you value? You know, do you value traditional views or modern views? Or, and then the other thing is, I said this before, you gotta own it. If you if you want to be out here with your starting five and just doing you, right? Own that. That is you, right? And but don't oh my gosh, don't expect the definition to change just because you want to feel good about yourself. Just own what you're doing. You know, own that. It is what it is. You made the decision, and then live with that decision. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
No,
I could be
I
wrong.
agree, man.
Let us know in the comments,
Yeah,
please.
definitely chime in the comments, man. Let us know what
Your
y'all think.
your opinion, because that's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't have all the answers.
100%. We got a few more than all the answers, I think. We got a few more than all the answers. Hey, So
Yes,
I see
yes,
him.
it is an impressive arsenal. Thank you very much. And it's growing. The up to it, down
Why
to
did
it
that
Nerf
not come up?
Wars
Hold up.
is probably going to come very soon. Don't worry. Sidebar. That's a sidebar. We should start hosting some events. Up to it, down to it Nerf War. Who's coming out? Who's going to join in the festivities? Because it's about to go down sooner rather than later. Because we don't know how much time we got left, and we need to make it happen now. We need to come to a resolve, and I don't know if that's a noun. I looked it up. It's not a noun. It's anyway. Listen, it's going down. It's going down. LB, you're back. Oh, you're muted. I was waiting for somebody to be muted. Here
Nah,
we
no
go.
way. I'm muted. Am I
Yeah,
still
here we
muted?
go. Come on. Come
I
on.
thought I was on. I thought I could be heard. I thought my
Oh,
presence
you,
was felt.
I'm gonna take one anyway.
I'm gonna take the drink anyway. Actually, yeah, we can. As a matter of fact, so yeah, sound the alarm. Man. Now look,
Uh oh.
now look here. I need you to get home safe though. I need you to get home safe. So you tell everybody how far out you are. But here he is, the immovable force, Kev. He's back
In the
in the
building.
game with us. What's up, brother? How you feeling, man?
In the building.
I'm feeling good. I'm literally fresh off the stage. So every year, all summer long, Morgan State has me come back to perform some spoken word for the freshman orientation classes. So I'm just leaving there. I'm about 15 minutes from home. So I will get caught up to the things that are happening. But I can, as far as the cup goes, but I can talk to y'all in the meantime while we get caught on up.
For sure, we gonna make sure you nice and lit with the shots. I
Oh
got
yeah.
I'll go ahead and mute myself a couple of times, so you catch up and everything. All right.
Listen, you ain't got to threaten me with a good time.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yeah, man, we out here, man. Hey, so you know what? Why you just kind of? I know it's kind of cold, but while you're thinking about it, we just looked at a video, the viewer submission, where the guys basically said he's got a different way to ask the question of what do you bring to the table, and that question is more, what do you value? And he went through a few different examples, but just in general, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
So I feel like I heard Rich, speaking to kind of, I guess, addressing those things without necessarily posing the question. And so I think that'll always be important to just, I, I wouldn't say create scenarios, but you almost have to create the scenarios to figure out what's important to a person. They'll show you what's our Maya Angelou quote: "If a person shows you who they are, believe them." So um, as you get to know a person, they'll show you a lot of what it is that they value. If you're trying to, let's say, like plan a date with them, and they've always got an excuse for why they can't go, then that'll show you that they don't value the time that you're trying to create for them. If they're a person who doesn't show up to anything on time or early, that'll show you that they probably don't really value, your time or their time. If I tell you I'm gonna be somewhere at 9 o'clock, I'm gonna be there at 8:55, waiting for nine to hit because people's time is important to me. So I think just in your interactions with people, they will show you what they value. But I do think posing the question that way, if that's something you're going to do, could potentially get the person that you're trying to get that information from to look at it a little differently than asking them what you bring to the table, because and I think Savannah said it in the comments that you'll get a lot more tangible things from people when you ask that question, when you're trying to, I guess, get to the heart of a person. So it's another way to pose the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to put that comment up. I saw it on my monitor, but I didn't see it on the screen here. Great point. When you ask someone what do you bring to the table, most will list material things, and this gives you a more direct pathway to what you really want to know. That is absolutely a fact. Absolutely a fact. So yeah, well said on all
Shout
fronts.
out Savannah.
Yeah, man. That's my baby. That is the current and future Mrs. Welcher.
Here goes my baby.
That's my
Yeah.
baby. You know it, man. Shout out, man. Shout out to all the ladies out there in the comments, man. Shout out to the wives. Shout out to the girlfriends. Shout out to the concubines. Shout out to the shout out to the bacantes. If you know, you know.
Know your role and touch your mouth. No.
Don't you start that turf war. Please don't start that turf war.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Y'all see what time we about to be on. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing. Now this one, oh man, speaking of a turf war, geez, thank you for that segue, Kev.
I do what I can.
Yeah, this one I think is gonna be very interesting. We're gonna bring back our good old fair or foul segment for this one. And you guys may have seen this circulating Al Gore's internet, co-constructed by Beyonce. You may have seen a viral video of a gentleman basically saying that he will not step in if his baby mother was being physically abused by her new boyfriend. A lot of different layers to this. There was one take on it I want to get the general feedback on, and also y'all feedback on what he said. So let's get into it with some fair or foul. Cups in the air. Let's get ready.
Man says that he will not step in if his baby mother is being physically abused by her new boyfriend because it's not his responsibility. She's no longer under my protection. I take issue with the fact that we are on podcasts and on social media having conversations about how we would treat our hypothetical baby moms. So that shows you that the way a man views his baby mom versus a woman that he's currently dating, that respect level is not on the same caliber. Therefore, I am advising all women to avoid being a baby mom at all costs. Marry before carry. And if you don't think that you would marry him, don't carry for him. And if you don't want your kids to come out just like him, if that thought of a child being just like him gives you the ick, do not carry for that man.
Well, that's interesting. So we got a few layers there. Of course, the fair or foul question is: should a man protect his baby mom from the abusive new boyfriend?
There's layers.
Yep.
There's
Sign off in the comments. Let us know what y'all think. Rich, jump in, man. What's your thoughts, bro?
I ain't got too much right now. I'm still thinking, but because there's layers to it. Because all right, so baby mom's is being abused by the new boyfriend, but if my child is over there and he's seeing this, listen, my first priority is to my child and making sure my child is in safety, right? So if that equals removing dude or whatever, like that's what I'm gonna do. And it has nothing to do with the baby mom, but it has more so to do with my child. Um, Also, though, still also realizing that's the mother of my child because my child's gonna have that relationship. It's layered, right? Because I'm I'm at an age where, listen, I'm not going to jail for the baby mom. I'm gonna go to jail for my child. I'm not going to jail for the baby mom. So I'm definitely gonna be smart about what I do, police involved, all of that. Let's get all the legal ramifications, and then I'm gonna talk some sense into the baby moms. And if she ain't listening, which all right, I'm not gonna go down that route because I don't know, right? I've heard, but listen, you want to have conversations, but you can only control what you can control. And for me, my first order of business is to make sure my child is safe, taken care of, because I'm not with the baby moms. And then it's like, okay, baby moms, get your. This is what I'm telling you. Leave so and so alone. I'm gonna get police involved, whatever needs to happen, as much as I can. But you can only control what you can control. After that, you better get all your legal stuff in order. You better get your sole custody or whatever it is. You better get that in order because obviously, baby moms, if she's still messing with dude, you know, that's a whole nother story. But like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure my kid is safe. And then, of course, if I got to step because if my kid is there, I got to step in. If I got to remove dude from the picture, then he's got to be removed. So,
Word.
but I'm gonna make it known that it was not. It was in the best interest. I'm gonna keep it positive. It's in the best interest of my child. Anything
Yeah.
I do is gonna be in the best interest of my child.
Yep. Yep. I think Kev, you're entering your you must be entering your neighborhood. Just keep jumping you off. Are you about close?
I was just, yeah, I'm getting relatively close. I don't know why it's going back and forth. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it's because the kids' sound started going through the car or what. But yeah, my first instinct protect the mom, but in a way that keeps everybody safe. So if this is something that we are like fully aware of, because of course there can be allegations of like abuse taking place, and there are no like clear signs of it. But if there are clear signs of it, then my first conversation is going to be with the mother, like, hey, this is what's going on, like, and speak to her from the psychological side of it. That if this is what you're enduring, then there is no guarantee that it won't trickle down to the child, either from her partner or from her, because of course, like, when people are like abused, then they hold the potential to then lash out on somebody else. And so, like Rich said, the first priority is the overall well-being of the child. And so we've got just as responsible for the child as you are. So I want to protect her in that way. But much like you said, if you're not willing to come out of that situation, then I've got to remove my child from the situation, and that becomes a very legal matter. So you got to get your ducks in a row. It's always been important to me that mom is well, because that person pours into your child as well. So like I don't want to see her in a scenario that's not advantageous for the upbringing of our child. So like I think it's fair to protect the mother in that scenario. But I can also understand why a person would want to like not be a part of that, because for what it's worth, it's not your business. Like y'all aren't together anymore. But like I said, I don't want it to adversely affect the child. So that's why I would, insert myself.
For what it's worth, it's not my business. Is where I'm gonna branch off from what you said. And it's not to say that I disagree with anything you said, you or Rich, but I'm gonna branch off from that point, because that's the point that I think the brother was coming from. I have an obligation to protect my child. And I think I hear you guys in some of the comments on the video were basically alluding to getting the child out of that situation as best as you can, right? You want to try, maybe through, for go get custody, go get them out of there in general. I don't know, right? But I think by and large, yeah, absolutely, your obligation is to protect your seed. That said, it's not necessarily to protect her. Now, I have to say this because I, at a time, was of the mindset of that taking care of my child meant also taking care of her mom or their mom, right? Or her mom in my case, right? But just trying to be universal. It meant taking care of her mom, right? And to some extent, yeah, that may be true. If mom's good, then the child has a better shot of being good, right?
If the
But
mom
also,
isn't a piece of shit, right?
yeah, assuming the mom isn't a piece of shit,
Okay.
assuming the mom is not a piece of shit, right? Um, but also she's an adult too, right? So this is your choice to get into a relationship like this, to stay in a relationship like this, right? I don't have an obligation, and I think this is where he was coming from. I don't have an obligation to protect her. I don't have an obligation to make sure she's good. I don't have an obligation to make sure her bills are paid. That's her obligation. I have an obligation to make sure my child is taken care of, right? And so, I know some people can blur lines and say, well, this means that and blah blah blah, but
Yeah.
ultimately, and it's particularly in a situation like that, my obligation is to my child. So I want to get my child out of that situation. You two figure this out on your own as adults. Y'all figure that out. If you want to stay in that, whatever. If you want to keep beating on her, whatever. That's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I got no dog in that fight. But I need to get my child out of this environment.
Some might say if her bills are paid, then your child is bills are paid or in a better situation. Even though she's got some other dude there.
Yeah. And that's why I changed the question just a little bit to, am I obligated to? And no, the answer is no. I have no obligation to do that. I have an obligation to ensure that my child's food, clothing, shelter, as best as possible, are taken care of. I don't have an obligation over the next guy that you decide to get with. That guy sucks. All right, well, you should leave him. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna leave him. I don't know how you gonna leave him either. You gonna have to figure that out. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have it. I don't have. I of course, yes. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Right? Seriously. But also, that's on you. Let every man work out his own salvation. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you figure this out in your relationship.
And that just is what it is. Like I said this earlier at when not on the podcast, but I was at work giving a young dude advice. I was like, ultimately, you have some hard decisions to make. Like, and whatever you choose, you gonna have to live with those decisions. But you gotta make those decisions. It's not gonna be on me, on somebody else, a friend, a family member. It's gonna be on you. And I think it's the same. It's what you're saying here, LB. It's like he, they got some decisions to make.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, though, it's about the child in this situation. You gotta be like focused on the child. Like if you're in an abusive situation and you're not like focused on getting out of that abuse for the betterment of your child. If you got a child, your life is like no longer yours. Like you got to throw the selfishness out the window. Like, for me, the moment I decided to have a child, I said, oh boy, well, that's it for me for the next 18 years. But I'm just saying, like, for real, like, not only that, like, the moment okay, all right, are we gonna talk real for a second? Let's talk real for a second.
And let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Let's keep it 100. The moment, the moment I fell in love with my wife, who has a son prior to me, is the moment I said, whether we had a kid or not, whether we had our own kid or not, was the moment I said, you know what? I'm taking her, I'm taking him, and my life is it. The I is gone now, because whether I had my own or not, it was me, her, and him, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do for the three of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once you decide you having a kid, it's like, hey, now on the flip side, again, not everybody is the same, because there are sperm donors out there. There are egg donors out there.
Yeah.
You better own it, though. If you're
Yeah.
gonna be that deadbeat, be it. Or if you're gonna be, what? Hello, you better be it. But it's a hard decision. Like I told this young boy that I was trying to mentor, because God dang it, I'm 40 years old, so I'm actually mentoring, right? Anyway, you got some hard decisions to make, and you gotta make it. I can't give you the answers. I can't make it for you. You got some hard decisions to make. So in this situation, hey, listen, in this scenario with baby moms, you got a decision to make. And it's not about
Yeah.
and it's not about you anymore. I mean, it is, because you're being abused, but you got to think about your child, and how can you get out of that abusive situation? Because that's
Right.
your decision. It's not the baby father's obligation. What LB was saying, to bring this full circle, it's not his obligation.
Yeah.
It's not, but he can step in and do, in my opinion, what he can within the legal ramifications, because you can't take yourself out of the equation, because then how's that going to affect, your child?
Yeah. 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 It's like you kind of you maybe got to step in to some extent, but also she's not obligated. I'm sorry, not obligated. She's not entitled. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. She's not entitled to that level of protection. You know what I'm saying? She's not entitled to that. Like, we broke up. Like most dads didn't break up with, the child. They broke up with the mom. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, if we broke up, then you're not entitled to the same level of protection that I would give, my current girlfriend or my wife. Now, and I want to bring that to the next point that the young lady was making towards the end of that video, and that is that she could see that there's a different level of respect. She said, in how men view the baby mom versus the current girlfriend, or I'll say in this case wife. And yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit. Yes, yes, yes. Because the baby mom is still, yes, the mother of my child, but also an ex-girlfriend.
And all,
ultimately, she's also an ex-girlfriend.
and for me, all right, also, and for me also, when that child reaches the age where they can self-sustain,
That part.
li-
That part.
I'm not with you for the listen. You are an extension of me, but I'm not with you. I'm
Yeah.
with my spouse till death do us part.
Right.
That's the
That's who
commitment
I
I
made the
made.
commitment to.
So,
Yeah. And like and so to the last part of what she said, which is marry before you carry. Right. Right. Marry
Hello.
before you carry, because that's how it's supposed to be in the first place. I'm really spotlighting Savannah out here, but she's spitting. She out here spitting. Hawk Tour out here. You know what I'm saying? uh,
We laugh. We laugh. Ugh. Why you think
That's
I'm
why I
married?
married her. Yeah, no shit.
We laugh.
Oh, we live. We live.
All right.
We live.
All right. All right.
Sorry, not sorry.
Oh man.
Oh man. Nah, but for real, man. Look, marry before you carry. And I look at the end of that video, I said at the end of that video, I literally said, yeah, no shit. Because that's really in real life. That's how it's supposed to be. Right? You I said this on a previous episode. I can't remember which one, but there seemed to be a pendulum switch at some point where women, particularly black women, and I heard it for myself, so this isn't like speculation or somebody conspiracy theory. I heard these words for myself, okay? But where women were beginning to value having children over being married, literally, where they would say, I would definitely have his kids because I think we would make cute babies, but I wouldn't marry him. And I'm thinking to myself, then why in the bitch would you have his kids? Because y'all would make cute babies? Why don't you find somebody else that you make cute babies with that you also would marry? What? And so, like I said, at some point, there was a priority shift. There was a priority shift, a glitch in the matrix almost, where women, again, particularly black women that I came in contact with, were valuing pregnancy and childbirth over marriage. And that just seems to me to be, I mean, I won't go this deep, not this episode. All right. Maybe I'll do this as like a spinoff episode. We'll dig into feminism, but I mean, that's a side effect of, the feminism lie and the incentivizing of the broken home. Right. To where the government would take care of you, and the government would do this, that, and the other, and pay for this and that and everything else, as long as there's no man in the house, and that just incentivized the broken home. That just incentivized the broken home, and then these children that grew up in these broken homes that think everything is okay, and then now they grown up and they think that they're never going to find a husband, and they start thinking about having babies and being single mamas just like their mama was. Or just making babies by a bunch of different women, just like their daddy did, right? So I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but there seemed to be a shift, and hopefully, women like I don't remember her name. I'm sorry, but women like her can get that message of marry before you carry out, because that's yes, because that's exactly what you should be doing. Yes, you should be making him earn it, right? If you're going to carry his seed, if you're going to carry his child and raise his child, then yes, you should make him make you, right? I'm just saying, right? Like it is better that way. It is overall better that way. So yes, that's how it should be. And fellas, it's the same thing with you. You shouldn't want her to carry. You should not want her to carry if you aren't willing to marry that. And I mean literally, and I'm speaking from experience, right? So I'm, this ain't throwing shade at nobody. You should not be talking to her about carrying if you ain't trying to marry her either. I'm just saying, it complicates things. I'm not saying you can't do okay, but the statistics are against you. The stats are against you. That's all I'm saying. Ain't no good men. They say ain't no good men. But there's a whole lot of pregnant women's out here. And that's a very interesting point because in the end, you can say what you want. He ain't shit. But he met your standard.
Man, this could go. Okay, we gotta get. Oh man, we gotta get Kev back in. Where the heck did Kev go?
Let's get Kev back in. Here you go. He in there.
Because
He
it could
back.
go. Because all right, I don't even know.
Talking for a minute. Jump in, Kev.
I listen. I was, because brought the kid home and everything, so I had to make sure he got some food and his little iPad before I make him go to bed because it's way past bedtime. I I mean, y'all, y'all kind of said the things, again, like, I didn't even though I wasn't on the road to marriage when I found out I was going to be a father. That was a route that I was more than willing to go. So like I I've always been very, very, very careful, or try my best to be careful in that regards, because I do understand, that all circumstances are not perfect. However, there should be some things that you see in a person before you just be out here like wilding. If they're smacking you upside your head, kind of like we talked about in the last one, why would you consider letting them put a baby in you? If they already got 2, 3 kids that they don't take care of, why would you think that they were going to do different by you? I think even beyond like just talking pregnancy, like in relationships or like the approach to relationships, you can see some clear warning signs, in people that would suggest this is not the direction that I want to go. Like some people, see red flags and think, oh, this is fun because it's Six Flags. No, them 6 red flags that say run in the opposite direction. You should be playing flag football. So it's like there, you got to pay attention to you got to pay attention to the signs.
I'm crying. My man said red flags is Six Flags. I'm crying.
The crazy part is though. The crazy part is you could actually pay attention to the signs and all of that. But people change, things change, scenarios. I mean, over time, it's that that's why so the married before Carrie, 100%, agree with, because outside of that, it complicates a lot of things, right? It makes it even 10 times harder. But even in that marriage, like, things could change, and it's the commitment that you really have to like, because we said it at the beginning, right? When we are trying to make you know uh, marriage great again, right? I'm paraphrasing, but it's the commitment, and you got to stick with it. That's why I was saying with the hard decisions you got to make. It's like whatever you decide, it's going to be a hard decision, but you got to make that decision and commit to that. Um, but the fad these days, but what is the media wave is like, oh, you can make a decision, but guess what? You can get divorced. Oh, you made that, but guess what? Oh, it's okay. You slept with, 15 people, but guess what? It's okay. You did your walk and you fine. It's popular now. It's okay. Everything's it's hunky dory. No, it's not. Just own it. You did what you did. You made your decision. You don't get to change the definition of something. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
Nah, you good. You good. You took me out with that. You did your walk shit. That took me out right there.
Let's bring it back here. All right, because I can go. It can go. This conversation can go right. When it comes
Hey, it's a wild
specifically,
K2.
oh yeah, boy, we
It's a
live.
wild K2. It's
Look,
like a
I had
Pokemon.
listen, Kev. I had to lock my door. That's why you see
And,
the Nerf
and
guns in
see,
the
he would
background.
normally be asleep, but he want me to cover him up. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna be right back.
you do what you do. Dead
Handle
gang.
your business,
Yo,
homie. Handle your business.
let's
We
go.
got you.
Shout out to the Hawaiian Shirt Fridays.
Big facts.
LB, we gonna get you on that.
Is that the new wave? We on the Hawaiian shirts now?
I don't know, but maybe.
I'll
Oh,
rock one. I'll rock
up
one.
to it, down to it. Hawaiian shirts. Let's go.
Oh, no shit.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Who's getting them? We about to market that, baby. Let's
Hey,
go.
yeah, okay. I'm down for that. Yeah, okay.
Got
Y'all let
glasses
us
on
know
the
what y'all think
shirt
about
with
that in the
the
comments, man.
yeah. We get some shot
Yeah, I'd rock.
glasses on the shirt. Like,
Yeah.
oh snap!
Oh
Hey,
man.
what we need to open up a little bar restaurant cut up to it, down to it. That might be hitting right there.
Don't be putting all the ideas on the internet yet. You
Oh
know what I'm saying?
snap! We live. We live.
Yeah, nah, Jo, you right, man. Listen, as I always say, we're fathers first, man. We're fathers first. We're gonna handle our business as dads first, and we'll let everything else fall where it falls, right?
Yeah,
So
circling all the way back to to the main topic is we're dads first. Obligations at that as it pertains to this scenario to our kids. To this
yeah.
scenario is to our kids. You know, so yeah. I hello, there he is.
Hey, he
He's
back.
back.
Hold on. Let's
To kids.
yeah. To the kid. To the children.
Ain't nobody got more needs than a child who's supposed to be going to sleep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hello.
That put it on the shirt.
Yeah.
Mark that, clip that, put it on the shirt.
We got a ton. We got to go through these videos because we got a ton of shirts that we need to already have.
Yeah, this the episode right here, man. 82. This the one. This the one. This is the game changer. All right, we got.
See it. I'm double fisting. I'm trying to get caught
He's
up.
double fisting. All right, so look, man. I gotta hold on. Let me give him a reason to take a shot.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. You ain't have to mute on purpose. I was drinking without reason,
Yeah, there we go.
The disrespect. The disrespect. But just so I can do my usual thing. So I came right in and grabbed the Lazy River. This is a fantastic bourbon whiskey. I mean, this thing has, changed my life forever. Like I can't. That's crazy. I can't even think of it. So right now I have, what is it? It's the one that they dip in the red to, make the wild tops. I'm drawing a Maker's Mark. There we go. Maker's Mark. So listen, I was and listen, I still believe the Makers is fantastic. I was drinking Makers, and then I came across Lazy River, and it made me put Makers on the shelf for a little bit. So I'm on a Lazy River kick. Lazy River is a little more pricey, but I actually did find this bottle at in Odington for a really decent price, so I ain't mad at that either. But Lazy River bourbon whiskey, got the glass of it straight. Mix this with my ginger ale. You can't go wrong either way. So I'm finna be caught up with y'all in a little bit.
Say less, man. What was that called? You said Lazy River?
Lazy River. Yep. Bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous
okay.
label.
No more.
Yeah. I heard about. Yeah, I've had some of that.
I haven't had it. I've heard of it. I've heard about it, but I haven't had that. So I know what my weekend purchase is. That's a bet. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. All right, cool. We got time for one more topic. good stuff. Shout out again to the comments. Y'all are live, man. As always, tell a friend to tell a friend. What up, Janisa? Shout out to you. Hey, man, always good to hear from you. And she also believes that women should strive to marry before carry. And listen, man, things happen. I'm not in any way demonizing. That's why I said I did the same. I'm not in any way demonizing, not doing it that way. But the reality is that it's better that way for a reason. And that's and I can speak to that, right? Many of us can, right? It's better to do it that way. It's far less complicated that way. Listen, go your own way, do what you want, right? Do what you think is right. But I think the expectation should be marry before carry, right? So anyway, that's just my thought. Maybe I'm caught up in the old way of thinking, but to me personally, I've been thinking and listening to the elders, listening to the previous generations and what they think and how they view the world. My wife's grandmother turns 80 next week. Excuse me, she turns 80 next week. And a lot of people don't make it to 80.
For sure.
We just got to call it like it is, right? A lot of people don't make it to 80. You see a lot of things. We've seen a lot of things in our 40 years, and in Kevin, your case, near 40 years on this planet. And so imagine what we've seen in double that time, or what has been seen in double that time, right? And beyond that, right? So everybody doesn't make it that far, and I think it's a blessing when you get to talk to people who are older, who still have their mind and their wits about them. That is, all right. The one, when you get wisdom from older people, I'm not gonna say nothing else. You don't get dark Brandon from them. All right, that's all I'm saying. No dark Brandon from them. You just get real life, real talk from them. I think their perspective is invaluable. So I want to start for maybe over the next couple of weeks with a word or a lesson, if you will, from the previous generation. So from the lesson from the elders. So get your cups in the air. Let's talk about this one.
How old are you?
Old, 79.
How does it feel to be 79?
Crazy, because my body's 79, but my spirit's 26.
What is something you thought was really important when you were younger, but as you got older, you realized it wasn't that important?
Probably money, even though it matters, makes it easier, but it doesn't guarantee joy. Good health is important, and luckily I am blessed.
Have you ever lost someone you really love?
Yeah, my husband. We were together 43 years, married 38. We had a great life, but it ended.
How did that impact you?
I was sad, but life goes on, and you have to make the best of it.
A lot of people aren't able to move on, though. How were you able to move on from that?
I guess just inner strength, not wanting to be a victim. It's not what happens to you, it's how you handle what happens to you.
What is something you really wanted to say to him that you never got a chance to say?
Wish we had more time, because you never know when it's going to end. So you think it's going to go on forever, and then it comes as a surprise.
So if you could go back in time and have a conversation with your younger self, what would you tell her?
Appreciate every day.
We're working for the future. Because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
Respect. She got the girls out and everything. Granny got Granny got the girls out. Hey, listen. For a social security check, beat the wrinkles off.
My man said, Granny Grand.
Granny Grand, you on the beach with them things out,
Granny Grand.
She got them bean bags going for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, she looked like she was still trying to find a listen.
She said my husband dead, not me.
Yeah, she said she gonna take them teeth out.
Granny Grand.
Okay.
All right, hold on. What the gums is doing?
Listen, Granny.
What them gums do? What them gums do?
Lord, with the tan, Granny with the tan. Granny is out here
with the tanny. Granny with the tanny.
Granny was out here in these streets,
grabbing
okay?
it,
Because
feel like a
This is
bag of
some this
sand.
is this is some bullshit. How did we get here? How did we get here? What happened?
I don't
What
know.
happened?
I don't know. But Granny was out here,
Because she showed up to
and
the beach with her fangs out.
she
That's
was.
how we got
Listen, husband is gone for some years now, obviously, because she's trying to get chose. Like,
Granny with the tanny is trying to get chose out here.
Granny with the tanny. Yo, I was.
here. But she was spitting wisdom, and it made me think a lot about last week what Will Smith was saying in regards to his father. Like when when like you just don't know how much time you have. So a lot of the conversations he had after the expected time they gave his father were rich because like they really knew that could have been the last time. And so, when she was saying appreciate every moment because you think this will last forever, like you got to appreciate that. And I'll branch away from the like love and relationships part. I like kind of found fresh perspective with my students this year because at the start of the year I had a group. I lost like four students back to back to back. Nothing happened to them, but like parents decided to move. They were having a hard time adjusting because they came from homeschool to public school, so that was a hard adjustment. Just a number of different things. I'm coming. And so like there were like to see them have to leave when we're in the middle of things, when we're prepping for things, when we're whatever. Like he's literally calling me from his iPad right now. This is I, put a pin in that. I'll be.
Y'all see this?
We live. We live. Yeah.
He gotta go tend to his boy.
Yeah, he's gotta go to the boy. Hey, listen, I love Kev. Like, yeah, he was going.
Yeah, man. I was looking forward to that. It's like like being ministered to at church, man.
Yeah.
I get all right. Well, I'll say that that's a great the perspective of the great mystery of life is the length of it is invaluable, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, obviously the older we get, the closer we get to that day, whatever, whenever that day comes. And obviously we're not looking forward to that, right? So, but whatever it is, the older we get, every day we inch a little bit closer to that day, right? And you don't know when it's going to be your last. And we've heard things like treat every day like it's your last because one day you'll be right. Um, and you go through so many days in life, and sometimes you just think, yeah, but but that won't happen to me, but until it does, and then it does happen to you, right? And then it is somebody that's really close to you. Then it is a family member. Then it is. I mean, God forbid, but one day it is a spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's not even something I even want to think about, right? But that is what happens. And so every moment, with Granny with the tanny, that's what we're calling her. What Granny with the tanny was saying at the end was to cherish every moment. And you should, because you don't know when it's going to be the last one, and of course I pray that we all live to be 800 years old, right? But just in case plans don't quite line up, you should treat every day like it's your last one, right? Or at least show the same kind of respect to every day and every moment, to make it memorable. I know a lot with my kids. I've on purpose just kind of thought about, just being in those moments when they were, when they were two. Our oldest is 5, about to turn 6. And then I made it a point to remember the moments when she was 1, and remember the moments when she was an infant, and take pictures of it and document it, and oh yeah, I remember this, and talk about it, and stuff like that, because those are moments that they come and they go, and they don't come back, right? And so, yeah, I think it's very important to cherish every moment and every day that you have with your loved ones. So it was a deep and salient point.
No, it matters. It matters, and I'm with you. Like while mom was pregnant, I downloaded every baby app you could find. I read every book you could come across. I attended every class you could take. Because I was invested. I just it's crazy. I When I like first started teaching, because I feel like for me they're one and the same. Like teaching prepped me for fatherhood. Fatherhood makes me a better teacher. Um, and so like once I knew I was going to be a father, like it was reading, it was study, it was well, what do I need to know about the next step, the next day, the next phase, the next week? Like I took a vested interest in everything that was happening. And so and the one thing you kept hearing, and it was wisdom from the elders, like literally with your children, appreciate every day because the days go fast. Like, well, the years go by fast. There's like every day feels long. And that's, boy, if that ain't the truth, because this
Yeah, the
today
days are long and the years are fast. Yeah,
I could have fist fought him over a reading lesson today. But once we got past it, it was just a beautiful day to spend with my son. So like, they would like appreciate it because it goes fast. And Google Photos is a whole horror because it'll remind you of
yeah,
everything that took place, over the years. But it's beautiful
yeah,
to see how quickly things have changed. And even listening to them the other day, I was like, say something. And he spoke again. And I was like, your voice changed. And it was literally from the day before to today to hear his voice change. And so just noticing
yeah,
like every little thing that happens, with your person is important. So like that's the part that sticks with me. When the elders say hold on to it, like I'm locked in because
yeah,
they ain't lying.
yeah. Yeah. With your lock in with your youngins and with your old timers, man. Your aunts and uncles and your gr- parents and grandparents, and as much as you can. Like we're all only here for a flicker, man. We really are.
Mhm.
We're only here for a flicker.
Mhm.
The my Bible readers out there, the book of Ecclesiastes talks a lot about how the mountains were here before us and they'll be here after us, and the grass
Yeah.
and the trees was here before us and it'll be here after us, and like really our existence is like a vapor. You know what
Hello.
I'm saying? And it really is like a vapor. It's here, and then if you think about a vapor in the sky, literally it's there, and you look away and you look back and it's less there, and you look away and you look back and it's gone, just like
Yep.
that, right? And that's kind of what everything is. So yes, absolutely treat it, treat it with respect, with its proper respect. You know what I'm saying? Treat your life with its proper respect. Lives of others around you, man. Make it as rich and filling and fulfilling as possible. That's it, man. That's all we got for y'all today, man. Thank y'all, man. Round of applause. Listening to us talk about what we think about all this stuff. Um, yeah, man. Talk to us, bro. Take us out, man.
Man, I listen, I'm just glad that I was able to make it on. And I want to wholeheartedly shout out, the orientation at Morgan State. We always want to big up our alma mater. So shout out to the new student orientation at Morgan State for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you all. And, for everybody who going through something. Storms don't last always. So we're gonna ride these bad boys out. Um, Gorilla said it's 7 p.m. Friday, it's 95 degrees. If you ain't got no nigga and he ain't got you, be out in the streets. I don't know, whatever. We got drinks. That's it. I wasn't aware until I wasn't. All I know is I'm a fan of Glorilla now, and I don't even know when it happened. So yeah, Glow, let's go drink some.
Glorilla, what about Sexy Red? Anyway, listen, we ride together. We got the bad boys for life. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, share, of course, right? But I started with resolve. I'm gonna end with resolution. because they got me thinking about that being a firm decision. A firm decision. Like, and I was saying it in here, like you make a decision and you gotta own it. Own that. So it's like, let's go, let's get into it. Let's make decisions, let's own those decisions. Let's just be better. But I thank y'all for joining us, for being a part of this. Once again, like, subscribe, scare, Halloween. Like, subscribe, share. How about that one? And man, we love y'all, man. Come on back. We're gonna have some more fun. We're gonna turn up to it, down to it. Merch coming soon. Let us know, because we're gonna put you on. Let's go.
Those of y'all that were here in the beginning, in the embryonic stages, in the infant stages of what we do, you guys will be the first ones up on all of the stuff that's coming. All right. Thank y'all for bearing with us. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for jumping in the comments and pouring a glass and talking trash with all of us. Glorilla can get it. As for Sexy Red, I can think of at least 2 things wrong with her name. All right. Anyway. Okay. All right. I'm just saying. All right. But look, man. Again, thank y'all for joining us, man. Keep your mind focused, man. Because let me tell you something. They out here. It is a war. I keep saying this. I say it every episode. I'm gonna keep saying it every episode. It's a war for your mind, and they will absolutely warp your mind and brainwash you if you allow them. Don't allow them. Think critically. Stay based. Stay blessed. Stay prayed up. And stay safe out there. We will look forward to seeing every last one of y'all. Same bat time, same bat channel next week. That's it. We out. We done.
We out
Thank
here
y'all again, man.
We out
It's
here.
a wrap.
Hey, LB. We'll look at Sexy Red's. We're not gonna look at it. More famous photos.
There's at least 2 things wrong with her name. At least 2.
As a younger person, I think, we tend to want to make a lot of money and acquire a lot of material things, have a big house, great car, all those things. And, I realize that's not what life is about. Life's about your relationships, love, and being able to know what abundance really is and what enough means, and having enough. It's peaceful. I love being peaceful.
What does abundance mean?
And I thought, that son of a, he announces there's no milk. I got to go up and get milk. Blah, 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 and he won't eat it. And walk upstairs. And I said, wait a minute. And I went upstairs and I said, hey, babe, can you give me some milk? Sure. Want anything else? They don't think. They don't have a whole lot. They got this. Their minds are like this. Our minds are here. They don't see it. If you're doing something, you're doing something. They don't look around the edges of it and see if you need any help with it. You gotta ask them.
That's what I tell her.
You gotta, and you can't feel, if he loves me, he would know, he would pay attention. They don't know. They just don't know.
Why do men pull away when they start catching feelings? Ooh. This hit me in a certain place because I used to be a victim of this. Men.
For the Force, the King, the Kamikaze, and the Great Interval, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you had a good time tonight. Tune in next week. It's sure to be a crazy night. We'll dig into all the shenanigans next week. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to follow us. Catch you on the next round.